Welcome back to AgriTalk online from Commodity Classic in Tampa, Florida. Well, we mentioned that you have corn growers, soybean growers, sorghum growers, wheat growers here, and they are setting policy for their organizations, looking ahead to the Farm Bill coming up, and of course budget issues, very much a concern for the groups as well. Ron Moore joins us now, chairman of the Illinois Soybean Association and also an American Soybean Association delegate. Ron, thank you for joining us. As soybean growers from around the country gather here, what are your key issues?
Well, you mentioned them earlier. The key issue right now is the Farm Bill that's going to be talked about for over the next year. We heard from Chairman of the House Ag Committee, Lucas, and the Secretary of Agriculture, Vilsack, today that the budget is a overriding concern for them, and everything is on the table, to quote Chairman Lucas, for being cut, and that includes a lot of risk management programs, a lot of the foreign market development and international marketing programs that the Soybean Association does very effectively overseas. And of course, you know, the direct payments. That's the one that seems to be the easy target right now. And we just need to continue to tell the story of the benefits that society has by having us participating in that farm program.
It seems like direct payments are perhaps the hardest to defend with high commodity prices the way they are. It seems like there ought to be a program, though, where instead of maybe direct payments coming every year, that they would only kick in, you know, if prices drop down to a certain level.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, but the thing that's the big issue is that sometimes the southern folks, based on their cropping practices and their crop mix, the direct payments is the best safety net that they have. And here in the Midwest with corn and soybean production, the prices that we've had the last few years, maybe that's not as important. So you may have to modify it, but just a carte blanche reduction in direct payments, I think, will hurt more of agriculture than it will help.
Yeah, that seems to be the key here. I keep hearing from ag leaders that, hey, we acknowledge that cuts have to be made, but you don't want to wind up, when it's all said and done, where you have no safety net, because we know commodity prices won't stay where they are now.
Yeah, for example, the price of corn in January 21st, 2006, the cash price for my area was $1.75. That's recent memory for a lot of farmers in Illinois, and you know, we've enjoyed some good prices. The biggest issue is that input costs has ratcheted up just as much as our prices have. So if we have a precipitous fall of the prices, something beyond our control worldwide, the global issue starts impacting the corn and soybean prices in the Midwest, then it's going to take 2 years or so before the input prices adjust. And that's when we need the safety nets in place to continue to allow agriculture to be an economic driver for the economy in the United States.
With the market buying acres or trying to buy acres, what are you hearing for soybeans? It's going to be an interesting battle, I think, because you have cotton prices good, so those acres probably aren't going to switch to soybeans. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think you may see just about every acre that can be double cropped from after wheat will be going into soybeans. So I think you're going to see a bump in soybean acres, double crop soybean acres, especially in southern Illinois, where we did have a lot of wheat planted. And from my information I've been able to gather from our members on the board from southern Illinois, it looks really good. And I know some areas of the country may not look quite that good, and so those acres may go into those wheat acres may be torn up and gone into corn production. So in my area, we're going to stick with our same rotation for the most part. We've got some agronomic reasons. A lot of people have to do no-till, and we do on our farm, and those farms that are highly erodible, we rotate back and forth each year to corn and soybeans. It makes perfect economic sense for us to do that. We can preserve our natural resources by continuing to operate those no-till fields that way.
Tell us about the yield challenge you're going to have in the state of Illinois this year.
Yeah, we started it last year, Mike, and we had great success. We had about over 120 farmers participate in that yield challenge across the state, and it's an opportunity for farmers to do some on-farm testing. Farmers are always wanting to know what they can do better. But we're hoping that they will get some data that we can share the good things that farmers are doing to increase their soybean yields and share those those different ideas across the state. Each of the teams are divided. The state's divided up into 9 crop reporting districts. So there's, co-ops, your seed dealers, high school FFA clubs have team members. Universities are having team members participate in the yield challenge. And last year we had some team members in Central Illinois produce some 85 bushel yield on their test plot. So we're trying to find out what we can do to increase the soybean yields faster than the trend line and kind of keep up the competition with their corn acres.
And how can they get more information and get involved in this?
The best way is to go on to Yield Challenge website, illsoy.org. We'll get you there that information and sign up. We have until the middle of April to get signed up, and contact your seed dealer or your local co-op board and see if they can, your agronomist, get you involved in that. It's a great way to network with other farmers in your region and make sure that you're all doing the things that will increase soybean yields in Illinois.
I have to ask you too about biodiesel. This hopefully is going to be a good year for the industry with increased demand, and the tax incentive back gets the industry back up and going, but a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen again at the end of this year.
Yeah, we worked for over 2 years trying to get the biodiesel tax credit reenacted. We had to make it retroactive back to the beginning of last year. But we're still on the Hill visits, trying to continue to convince the senators and legislators the benefits of the biodiesel tax incentive. We need to have jobs, and that's one thing that was a big problem when we lost that incentive. Is a lot of companies just cut back production and they laid off people, and this is not the time to be having government policies that will cause businesses to lay off people. We need to have policies in place from Washington, D.C. that encourage production, encourage job growth. Agriculture does a wonderful job of creating jobs for this economy, and we want to be able to help create those jobs and make, do the things that will get this economy in the United States turning around.
Very good. Thank you. By the way, good choice of suits there.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Okay, that's Ron Moore. He is chairman of the Illinois Soybean Association and an American Soybean Association director here at Commodity Classic. Stay with us. Much more to come on AgriTalk Online.